In this video, you can test your knowledge and learn the suit of swords, so stay tuned. Hi everyone, it's Ray with Tarot Living. Thanks so much for joining. So on my channel, we talk about all things spiritual. So if you're interested in tarot, astrology, psychic development, you'll want to subscribe and make sure to hit the bell notification to be sure you get an email when I do post a video. And to learn how to read tarot cards, join me on Facebook for weekly tarot exercises and activities under my private group, Tarot Living Study Group. The link is in the description below. Hi everyone. If you're a beginner, you may find it helpful to bring out your minor arcana cards from Ace to 10. However, if you're very familiar with the tarot cards, you may want to challenge yourself by answering the questions without looking at the cards. It's totally up to you. I'll present you with 10 questions plus one fun bonus question at the end of the video. The questions will relate to card meanings, symbolism within the cards, keywords, and the occasional astrological question. None of the questions will relate to court cards. After each question, I'll give you a few moments to ponder and think about it, then I'll reveal the answer and provide you with some details about the card and its symbolism. But before we get to the questions and answers, let's review a few basics about the suit of swords. Swords relate to the element of air. So when you see sword cards in a reading, they're often associated with the following aspects of life: intellectual activity, such as analyzing and rationalizing; communication in various forms, verbal and written; decision-making, truth-seeking, and impartiality; worries, strife, and conflict. So let's get started. Here's your first question. Which sword card depicts a bully? If you guessed the Five of Swords, you'd be right. The Five of Swords relates to conflicts and difficulties with others, aggressive communication, or a lack of equality with regard to power and control. There may be a dispute, disagreement, or argument that occurs when this card comes up in a reading. One person is often acting in an overbearing manner, so you can see the larger figure in the foreground of the card looking rather aggressive. If he does win the battle or fight, there could be gloating or arrogance involved. At times, we refer to this card as Pyrrhic victory, meaning that you won the war, but at what cost? Alternatively, if you are a person walking away in the background, you're probably feeling defeated, betrayed, or humiliated. Here's question number 2. Think of 3 key words for the Three of Swords. I'll give you a few moments. I hope you were able to come up with a few key words. The Three of Swords card can suggest suffering, sorrow, tears, heartbreak, or even mental anguish, given this is a sword air card. We often see this card in a reading when there is some type of relationship difficulty, separation, love lost, alienation, betrayal, or feeling abandoned. It can also relate more generally to conflicts, quarrels, negative gossip from others, painful truths, or rejection. Lastly, we sometimes see this card when there's a third person involved in a relationship, particularly if the other cards support that interpretation. The call to action in this card is to find healing for the wounds, which is depicted in the Four of Swords. Here's question number 3. Which sword card includes a carving of 2 people fighting? The answer is the Nine of Swords. You can see the 2 people fighting in the carving on the side of the bed. One person holds a sword over another who has fallen back, suggesting fear and vulnerability. The Nine of Swords often depicts worry, stress, anxiety, and concerns, which can cause insomnia or even nightmares. When you're alone in the dark, unfounded fears, hopelessness, and negative thinking can take over, even if some of those fears may not even materialize. The Nine of Swords is ruled by the planet Mars, so there's a lot of fiery, assertive energy associated with this card. However, I think a lot of that energy is turned inward, creating battles within yourself more than with other people. Often the call to action for this card is to change your mental perspective and reduce negative thinking. Here's question number 4. Which sword card depicts a crown? The answer is the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords relates to mental energy that is available and the power of words. You often see this card come up when mental focus is required, or you need to be clear-headed in your approach to solve an issue. It can also suggest courage and determination are required to overcome obstacles. The crown on this card symbolizes power and victory, and it's also a reference to the first Sephirot on the Tree of Life, called Keter, which is associated with all of the aces. Keter actually translates to mean crown. When this card shows up, communication is likely to be very direct and possibly even forceful. It can also be an indication that there's a need for honesty and truthfulness. Given this is an ace, it can also suggest having a sudden insight, a new idea, or embracing a fresh perspective. Here's question number 5. Which sword card could be described as moving from mental stress to a calmer situation, rite of passage, transition or travel? If you guessed the Six of Swords, you'd be right. The Six of Swords shows a boatman standing up in the punt, steering 2 people through the water to another shore. The theme of this card is about making the decision to leave your current worries, situation, or circumstances behind. It's possible that people in the boat are going from a difficult, stressful situation depicted by the choppy water on the right-hand side to a calmer state as we see smooth water ahead. The Six of Swords is an air sign, and the card is ruled by Mercury, so there's a lot of air energy with this card. Therefore, the transition depicted by the boat could be about increasing your knowledge or awareness, changing your perspective, or gaining new insights. On a more mundane level, the Six of Swords can also relate to relocation, travel, a rite of passage of some type, and I've also seen this card come up when someone was leaving or changing schools in order to gain greater knowledge. Here's question number 6. Which sword card includes the depiction of a stained glass window, and do you know what word is written in the stained glass window? The answer is the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is an interesting card, suggesting that there is a period of rest after strife. The man laying down is thought to be a knight who has come back from battle, and he's laying on his tomb with gratitude for a safe return. He's in prayer and contemplation. This card suggests rest and peace are required after difficulties experienced in the Three of Swords. If proper rest is taken, then balance can be restored and strength regained. In the stained glass window, you can see an image of a person kneeling for a blessing in front of a priest. Above the priest's head is the word pax, which means peace in Latin. On a mundane level, the Four of Swords can suggest respite, holiday, meditation, relaxation, or a period of quiet. It can also suggest a need for recovery or recuperation from an illness. Here's question number 7. Can you think of 3 key words for the Seven of Swords? Try adding at least one positive word onto your list. I will give you a few moments. Okay, I hope you were able to think of a few key words. The Seven of Swords is a complex card that does relate to deception, duplicity, trickery, or even manipulation and betrayal. There's often a secretive or covert aspect to this card. On a more mundane level, the Seven of Swords can suggest something has been stolen, possibly even an item, or even an idea that you created at work, for example. However, there are some positive aspects to the Seven of Swords. The individual on the card is very clever and quick thinking. If this card comes up, the person might be intellectually strategizing, organizing, or executing a plan really well. This card can also suggest an ability to tactfully and diplomatically communicate in order to navigate through a difficult or sticky situation, such as during negotiations, for example. Lastly, this is a lone wolf card at times, so the person might just want to make a quick escape and go his own way rather than following the group. All right, we have a couple more cards and questions left, but please take a moment to like this video and leave me a comment. I would love to know how you did on the questions for this suit. Also, don't forget to sign up for my private tarot study group on Facebook. I post various weekly exercises and activities similar to this video, and I provide tarot mentorship. The link is in the description below. Okay, here's question number 8. Which sword card shows a person making a gesture with their right hand? The answer is the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is an intense card that shows something has ended or there is a painful loss. Other meanings can include defeat, betrayal, defamation, or hitting rock bottom. Alternatively, it could suggest a crisis that results in significant life changes. The man in this card is indeed making a sign with his right hand. Many tarot readers and writers over the years have suggested he's making the same sign as the Hierophant, a sign of blessing. However, Pam Richards in her book, Understanding Tarot, states it may be a Hindu and Buddhist sign called prana mudra, which symbolizes the energy of life or life force. It's hard to say what Pamela Coleman Smith had in mind when she created the card, but it does show the undying hope and life force of the man in the card. The message of the Ten of Swords could also be to accept and release the difficulty, loss, and pain you're going through so you can transform and find renewal. This concept that a new day is coming is depicted quite well by the yellow horizon line in the distance. Here's question number 9. On the Eight of Swords card, what is the significance of the woman's feet not being bound? In the Eight of Swords card, the woman is depicted as blindfolded with loose bindings around her upper body. However, her feet are not bound and there are no swords directly in front of her. So she would not be impeded from walking forward or moving out of her current situation. Because of this imagery, this card is often interpreted as self-imposed restriction and entrapment, inhibiting movement or action, which keeps the person trapped. Because this is a sword air card, there might be substantial fears, worry, or excessive negative self-talk. Alternatively, it could also suggest an oppressive external environment or situation that causes the person to feel trapped or isolated. At the end of the day, though, it's a card about finding your personal empowerment to overcome fears, obsessive thoughts, or negative thinking in order to make decisions and move forward. Here's question number 10. Which sword card is ruled by the moon astrologically? Think of the symbolism within the cards. If you guessed the Two of Swords, you'd be right. The Two of Swords is a fairly complex card ruled by the moon astrologically. The Two of Swords relates to a person in a state of inaction, stalemate, or indecision. Additionally, this is a sword air card, so we know there's thinking and analysis going on behind that blindfold. However, it's ruled by the moon, and the moon relates to emotions and intuition. Therefore, the reason for the stalemate becomes clearer. This person is likely vacillating between her head and her heart, or between thoughts and emotions. This could be the reason for the uncertainty, apprehension, and indecision that we see in this card. Or the person may be avoiding or ignoring their intuition and emotions with regard to a particular dilemma, creating a period of inaction or temporary reprieve for making a decision. However, ultimately, decisions will be required in order to move forward. Lastly, it can suggest you're at a stalemate or loggerhead with another person in terms of opinions or ideas, which may eventually require a truce in order to restore peace. Okay, so here's your bonus question. Which sword card includes tents and a few people sparring or fighting in the background? The answer is the Seven of Swords. You can see the tents on the right-hand side of the card and a group of people fighting in the background. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I hope you enjoyed testing yourself on the suit of swords. Stay tuned for the next upcoming video.